overall, just like a really strong team. Like, if I'm not winning, I want them to win. You know what I mean? They're just definitely one of my favorite teams.
Yo, in this episode, I go one-on-one with one of the best Apex controller players in the world, Moist Esports Wxltzy.
There's a man right below you, all going to jump straight into it. The fences are being blocked nicely, but Wxltzy needs to duck back, needs to get reloaded, needs it. All that fence is going to come back though, you've got to be cautious of them. All the hip fire is working wonders for this man, but the ring's going to kill them all. Going to kill them all, but he's going to kill everyone first!
Check! Nice! I'm ready! Fuck one! Let's go!
Wxltzy, thank you for joining me today. You guys obviously hit your stride perfectly. The end of split one, but you didn't quite start amazingly. How did that work out? You weren't probably hitting expectations for yourselves, but then like the way you finished was obviously almost perfect.
I mean, when we started off the split, we kind of we didn't have a lot of practice with Pricey, obviously, because at the start we were doing all of our practice with Jaro. So I think obviously in like the earlier weeks, it kind of showed that like we just didn't have the chemistry that we needed to sort of like hit the marks that we were sort of aiming for, which was like pretty much top 2, top 3 every week. So that was kind of like the real killer at the start. That, and then obviously, in my opinion, we just went on the right comp until we obviously switched to the end and when it ended up playing crypto. So I'd say like the start was more just a chemistry issue, just like we hadn't really played together a lot, and we hadn't got to practice really anything. We kind of just went into the season, and I'd say like the first couple of weeks kind of our really just practice, I guess, which is like not what you want, but it's what we had. So, and then we ended up sort of just pulling it all together on the last day, swapping to crypto without actually playing crypto in anything before was kind of interesting, but it paid off, so that was a dub.
Watching those last few games, it's sort of like it was played perfectly, like some very, very good Apex being played as a team and individually. Obviously, we've got the narrative around you guys replacing Dark Zero. Do you guys think that, do you think that affected you? But also, do you think it was right? Because obviously people see it as you're the sort of next step just below them. And obviously you guys with relationships with those players. But at the same time, you're your own team, obviously, and own individual players.
I think it was definitely fair. I mean, like Zero and Empty used to play together. So, I mean, like Empty and Zero sort of think alike. Pricey and Sharky, they've played together, and then I played with Jen when I first started my career. So I guess like the expectation of us sort of like picking up where they left off, like it wasn't like far off, and we definitely should have, but it's just like not what ended up happening, just in my opinion, due to just like the lack of experience we had as a team. But as for like if it affected us, I think yes and no. It's like, we played at LAN, so like pressure is not that much of an issue, but I think it was more just like, we made a very big swap at the start of the split, and had it have like all fell apart, it would have been like a very bad look for us. Like obviously when you swap players and stuff, it's like, people have a bad look and some people take it the wrong way. And obviously like had we have fallen apart under that sort of pressure, which I think was probably worse than the whole we're the next DZ thing. So I think, the DZ pressure, like us trying to be the next DZ, wasn't actually as much of an issue as us swapping players at the start of a split.
Yeah, of course. It's the actual thing that happened versus the sort of stories that people like even myself sort of create around it.
Please give the video a like if you're enjoying the content, and keep watching to hear who Wxltzy wants to take down at LAN.
So you touched on, obviously you've got some LAN experience now. So now that you're bringing that to sort of year 3 and obviously a few days away from split 1 playoffs kicking off, how do you guys see yourselves and sort of how are you carrying yourselves? Obviously, a lot of the other teams have similar sort of experiences as well now, but how do you think it's helped you guys grow?
I mean, I'd say so. Obviously, Sweden, none of us had experience. Both teams made finals. It was not as bad, I guess, as everyone makes it out to be. LAN, I think, is a little bit overhyped in the sense that everyone reckons, you're going to be out there, you're going to be shaking, you're going to be nervous. It's just like, it's just not the case, especially if you have any experience in any other sport. It's like not that big of a difference. Playing at Champs was a little bit different. You got the crowd and stuff like that. So that was definitely like maybe a little bit more, I guess, like nerve-wracking, but it still wasn't too bad. And then coming into this one, I think like me and Empty have like 2 now under our belt. Pricey has 1, so it's like I don't know. I think Lan Experience doesn't. I guess like not that it doesn't matter because it does matter, but I think you've obviously seen teams come in and they do really well in their first time around. Like this is our 3rd time, so I guess like it definitely helps us in terms of like we know what to expect, but then we also, I think the biggest thing was like we learned from champs like what not to do. So I think coming into this, like we definitely have a lot more confidence and we're a lot more like open-minded. So at champs we didn't want to swap comps or anything like that, whereas this time around we're like even tonight in scrims we're changing up our comp and stuff. So I think it's like definitely brought a lot more, I don't know how to say it, I guess like open-mindedness. So I think that is a big thing coming into this.
Yeah, definitely. So just changing up for a moment, obviously part of Moist Esports. What's it like having them behind you, but also now seeing Ludwig come on board?
Yeah, I don't know. It's like kind of just surreal, obviously, because like we all know who Charlie is, we all know who Ludwig is. So it's just like it's kind of crazy that we're sort of associated with them. It's more just like that's kind of mind blowing kind of thing. But as for like the day to day kind of thing, I don't know, kind of just it's just nice, it's just nice having that like behind you and like that kind of support. So it's just
the security almost of it.
Yeah, it's just like a good feeling because like everyone at Moist is just like really supportive, really just easy go and chill. So it's just, if anything, it's just a really nice, like backup kind of just support thing.
Yeah, and then it's also nice when Critical just raid you for 10,000 people.
No, that's just, I don't know what that is. That's crazy, man. That's definitely one for the books.
Okay, let's change it up for a moment. We're just going to do the hot drop speed round. This is just 8 quick questions. Don't need to explain the answers. Pretty basic stuff, mostly around Apex. Ready?
Yep.
Favorite legend?
Ooh, Horizon.
Ooh. Legend you wish wasn't in the game?
Seer.
Yeah, that's going to be a common one. Gun you wish would be nerfed?
Right now, I don't know. The gun meta is like honestly not so bad. Maybe Flatline?
Oh, I would have thought Charge Rifle would have gone straight to the top, but...
Oh, that's up there too. I don't know. Flatline just doesn't stop shooting. So probably Flatline.
Okay. Next map to enter the comp scene?
That I want? None of them. So if I had to choose one...
Yeah. You guys have won on Broken Moon?
Yeah, maybe Broken Moon. I don't know how to play out. Maybe I'll go with Broken Moon. I don't like any of them though.
Okay. If not Apex, what game would you go pro in?
Dude, I don't actually know. That's tough, man. Maybe COD.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe COD.
Favorite snack while gaming?
Dude, so many.
That's true.
I'll go Shapes.
Ooh, solid. Favorite game of all time?
Either Apex or Modern Warfare 2.
Ooh, that's my alley as well.
Yeah.
Best player in the world, and feel free to say yourself if you think that.
Yeah, it's probably Zero. I hate to have to say it, but yeah, it probably is. It sucks.
Respect it. Okay, so turning our eyes sort of to ALGS Split 1 playoffs in London now. International scrims, how do you guys approach them? You've sort of touched on trying different comps, but do you approach them differently as well now that you're at bootcamp in London versus from at home?
I mean, the only difference I'd say is probably confidence. Just like competing on, like trying to scrim on hyping is just like obviously incredibly difficult. So I'd say the only thing that changes when we get here is just confidence. But yeah, that's probably the only thing that changes. We kind of stick to the same plan for the most part, like we try to anyway.
So what do you guys get out of actually these boot camps? And it doesn't just have to be like the Apex side of things.
It's like the big thing is obviously you don't want to scrim on hyping. Then it's also getting used to being here, getting used to like time zones, like environment and stuff like that. Also like a team bonding thing. It's like I feel like it's definitely much better when you're having discussions or arguments in person versus online. It's just like also just like you can sort of just talk to each other just a lot easier. It's a lot less, I guess, intense, or sometimes more intense.
Yeah, I could imagine that. And
Yeah.
hopefully Kyle's hasn't had to separate you guys too much.
No, he's been actually really good. He's been sort of mediating the arguments and stuff like that, because it does. Obviously, we're all competitive, so like we all get heated, we all get animated and stuff like that. So yeah, no, he's been really good for it.
Sounds like he could actually be a real coach.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe. So how do you guys start to prepare? How do you guys start to prepare for the LAN event? Like, and do you guys have sort of, or do you specifically have daily routines like working out before, those sort of things to prepare for the big days?
It's kind of hard to find like a routine, just because like obviously you're not in the comfort of your own home where you know where everything is. You got like your locals and stuff like that, and then you got your gyms and stuff. So it's like a little bit. It's difficult to find like a rhythm and a routine. I feel like when I go overseas, I always feel like I'm a bit out of whack. But I'd say we try for the most part to sort of like wake up at the same time. We go have breakfast together, then we go to the boot camp together. Like we're all just sort of like moving as a group kind of thing. That's probably like the only real routine that we have. As for individually, I do prefer to work out before I like play and stuff like that, just because I feel like I'm a lot more like relaxed. But I've been sick here, so I got sick when I first came over because it's so cold here. So that is one thing that is not great about here. It's so cold, man.
Really, I only got 2 more questions that are to finish up here, so we're doing it nice and quick. Excluding yourselves, who do you think's top 3? But who would you want to beat of though?
Yeah, I mean, I want to beat them all. My top 3. I love XSET, man. Like I think they're a really good team. I'll probably put XSET up there. They're overall just like a really strong team. If I'm not winning, I want them to win. You know what I mean? They're just definitely one of my favorite teams. DZ is like still, man. Like I don't know how long we've been going now, but it just still feels like they're just that extra bit ahead. Do you know what I mean? Doesn't matter how many times you verse them, doesn't matter how long it's been, just they always seem to have it together. They also are like, pretty annoying, so they're probably probably my top 2, and then who's my third, man? Who'd my third be? Probably Fnatic.
Oh, good
Fnatic.
choices.
I think Fnatic, like I don't know, it's like it feels like they've been right there at both the LANs, you know what I mean? Like they've just been so good. And I feel like I just wouldn't be surprised if this was one that they took home.
You watch a lot of Apex and you know all the teams. Yeah.
Gotta be doing your homework.
Love to hear that. So one final question. Who do you 100% want to beat in London?
DZ, man, come on. Gotta beat Zero. If I have to listen to him one more time, dude, come on. If I have to listen to him one more time, I might have to just call it. Probably definitely DZ. Definitely DZ, just because Zero.
I can imagine that. So I really appreciate your time.
Thank you, Wxltzy, for joining the show. Please check out his socials in the description. And don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more content coming your way. Later.